Okay, hello and welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Sive. What we're going to be going over today is what is Sive, how to load it to your charts, and how to use it properly. Been getting a lot of questions about this, so I want to make a video breaking down everything, making sure everybody's up to date with it. So first off, when you get access to Sive, either through the free trial that I offer or that you actually paid for the access, what happens is you'll get access through your indicators. And you want to come over here and it'll show up in invite only. And you'll just want to click on Sive 1. And upon doing that, you'll see this. It'll pop up looking like this. And you'll start to see these green and red buy and sell signals and this trend line that's actually representing momentum. Now, what this is it's just giving you high probable trade signals, and I'm going to break down the beginner's guide and strategy on how to use Sive. So, again, when you load this up for the first time, this is what it's going to look like. And let's just head into the settings, and I'm going to break all this down for you. So up here is your main Sive settings, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So the source is what's taken account of the data. So right now, I really recommend only setting it to close, which is going to look at each close of the candle. And second, you have length. So it's going to look at 13 of the candles to calculate some data. Again, don't touch any of these settings. Next, we have plot moving average. And what this does is it shows you this really cool trend filtering moving average. And this is one of the many things that Sive is based upon, is this moving average. But it's not like any other moving average you've used or you've seen. It has some really cool, unique features to it that I'm not gonna get into, but it takes into account a lot of different factors about price movement and then filters it down and refines it into this jaggedy but smooth price trend line. Now I usually have this off. Now I've got a lot of questions about this magic number 2. Don't touch it. Just leave it. You don't need to mess with it. If you mess with it, you're just going to mess with Sive. And if you do end up think that you've messed with anything, you can come down here to defaults and you can reset the settings. Now that we've got through Sive 1.0 settings, below we have MTI settings. And what MTI is an indicator that I've built called Momentum Trend Index. And let's just review what I have here. So Momentum Trend Index, or MTI, is a trend filtering system that utilizes momentum via RSI in a special unique way, which not many people have done to date within TradingView's platform, and even outside of it. Now I've been trading for 5-6 years now, and I've never seen anybody utilize an RSI the way that I have to represent price movement and price development within momentum. So it's meant to reduce the noise of a trend and to focus on direction. It holds true through consolidations and volatility spikes. So as you can see, as volatility shifts and there's price consolidation, these moving averages, I'm going to call them, but these momentum trend lines stay true to the actual trend. And even through here, you can see how it kind of stays true within here to show you that, yes, we're still in a sell and it's still a downtrend. I suggest you use your favorite RSI or moving average settings, 4, 9, 13, 21, 50, 100, 200, etc. They all work very well. Each one gives you a different look on overall price action and trend. Now, if you are a person who likes using the 50, 100, 200, 3 EMA setup, you might find that this actually gives you even better price development and trends. Mess with it, see what you like, but what I've built into the default settings of Sive is what I find to be most effective. And again, I highly suggest just leaving this as close. Now, since this is a RSI indicator, and it's purely based off RSI, this is showing you the middle ground of momentum. As price moves above this middle ground, momentum shifts. And you can see how the momentum actually changes. And then price moves below this MTI and momentum shifts. And it's meant to just give you a pure, clean look, really filtered look to how price and momentum are in relation. Now, one thing that's I've added is plot RSI bands. Now, what this does is it actually shows you the overbought and oversold conditions of price in relation to RSI. So right here, we're getting RSI overbought, and down here, we're getting oversold conditions. It's a cool little feature I added. I personally don't really use it a lot. It's kind of nice if you do use RSI, or you can see the wick price action on the overbought and oversold areas. Overall, you can switch this to what you would like. You can maybe, if you have an 80-20 setup that you like to use on your RSI, you can actually change and shift this. If you want to use maybe a 55-45 to show the dead zone, you can even do that too. And then this would show you kind of the outside ground of that middle zone that we're looking at. Depends on how you utilize RSI yourself. That's just, I've added this feature just for a nice little addition. And now moving down, we have our final setting, plot moving average. And what this is a moving average based on the RSI. Now I have a dark chart here. So it's kind of hard to see. But what this is actually doing is it's giving you the TDI, the Trend Dynamic Index of the MTI. And if you don't know what a TDI is, do a little bit of research. It's this. It is an RSI with a moving average on top of a moving average. It gives you a bunch of different things, but this is the MTI's version of a TDI. But this also what shows you these red and green flips. So I've already built this in, but if you like seeing how that works and how that happens, you can have that on. I like having it off. Now finally, getting into the last two settings you see within the MTI of Sive is plot MTI2 and plot MTI3. And what this is going to do is that's just going to put those onto your chart for you. And I've also added a nice little thing of you can plot the crosses. So you can actually plot the different crosses that happen, a 2 MTI cross and a 3 MTI cross. I generally like to just run this, just because I can visually see, and I'm usually watching the markets anyways. But this is the inside of the Sive settings that you're going to get when you get access to Sive. Let's reset this to default, and let's break into this. So as we see here, we're looking at Bitcoin, Tether US, perpetual futures. That just means that I trade perpetual futures on Binance. But what we can look at is the actual price of Bitcoin, which whichever chart you like using will essentially yield the same results. Now, when you're looking at this, you're going to get buy and sells. Generally, my scope on how I trade Sive is when you get a signal, you can sell the market and you go to the last recent swing. And if you don't know what a swing is, that's just the turning points in the market. Like this would be a swing, this would be a swing, but more definitely this is a swing. Swing, 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 swing. It's just the fulcrum points of the market shifting, where price clearly turns around. So I'm just going to remove those. But what I like to do is I like to enter on the close, and then I move it above the last swing high. So you can see here, this is your last swing high, and I'm just placing it right above that. And again, here I get another signal. My most recent swing high would be these. But more importantly, we're looking at that. And then I'm just going to move that to the side to get it out of our way. And we enter on the close, and we place it above this swing high. And then you can see how price develops and moves also with that momentum to give you high probability trade ideas. Now, sometimes you're going to get counter trend trades, and that's okay. That's part of the system. It's to help kind of spot the turn-in points and stuff like that. As you see here, this is technically reversal trades, continuation trades. This is a potential reversal trade, but we're in a strong downtrend. And again, potential reversal trade, which ends up leading to a breakout. And how you just want to trade this is based on the last swing points in the market. Now, one thing I do recommend is figure out what works best for you. I personally like switching between Heikin-Ashi and regular candles because I find Heikin-Ashi alters the data that Sive reads and produces sometimes more high quality trade ideas. Now here, this trade wasn't available within the regular candles, but since Heikin-Ashi alters the data that Sive gets, it produces a different result. Slightly different, but it produces a different result. Now, I know a lot of the arguments on Heikin-Ashi is it doesn't give you the actual price close. Like right now, the Heikin-Ashi candle here is at 48,171, but the true price is 48,132. So that's where people don't like Heikin-Ashi, but when you're trading high probability trade ideas, when we have statistical math models to help predict and model future price action to a high degree of repeatability, I can trust that this data is true and that this data is actually giving me a high probable trade idea. And now you're probably wondering, what the heck are those orange things I'm seeing to the left? This is your volatility expansion warning. Now, if you don't know what volatility is, a lot of people think it is ATR. And where is an actual ATR? A lot of people think it's actually ATR. It's not. I'm not going to get into why an ATR isn't actual true volatility, but that's not how you actually measure volatility. This is a different read of volatility, a true read of volatility. And when this lights up orange or yellow, however you see this, that just is telling you extremely low volatility is here, and you can expect more volatility to enter the market. And what volatility is the whipsaw action of the market. So when things are very low volatility, you get very repeatable, kind of consistent, small moves. And that is usually followed by high whipsaw, big candles, where here you're just seeing these tiny small candles, sideways movement, followed by bigger candles into more whipsaw movement. And what this can do for you is really give you a proper prediction of what could lie in the future. Now, as traders, we never know what lies in the future. We can only take high probable guesses. We develop edges in the market to kind of give us a leg up against market makers, algorithm, price delivery situations. And this is one way that I like to do it and that I've built in to Sive. Now, each time you see this, it might just be a small area like this, and it can still be followed by whipsaw action, or it can be followed by major directional moves. It can lead into sideways ranges or whipsaw directional moves. And volatility can happen across any time frame. You can have extremely low volatility on a daily and then weeks later see insane high volatility. Or here where we're looking at a huge $12,000 price drop in Bitcoin, moments before, earlier that day and the night before, we were getting extreme low volatility reads. And as a trader who was using Sive, I was like, hey, something is going to happen in the market. I want to be on my toes. I really want to have these signals being alerted to me and also being like on my toes ready for this. You know, as I said before, the beginner strategy for Sive is to go with the swing highs, swing lows. You would have got stopped out here most likely. And unfortunately, you would have probably got stopped out here if you were taking these. And again, you want to try to follow Sive as best as you can because it will produce. And when it produces, it is so good. And you want to aim for nice realistic trades, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and leave some on the table to run. Now in this case, using the beginner strategy, we could have had a, wait for it, it's still going. From the top entry to the very bottom of the market, it was a 1 to 16 probability, or 1 to 16 risk to reward. Meaning that if you put 1% of your account into this trade, that you're risking 1% up here for a potential gain of 16% down here. That's how this works. And now again over here, we're looking at another trade, swing highs. So we get a sell signal. The entry is on the close. Our stop loss goes above these swings. And again, it's going. 1 to 22. So again, 1% up here, 22% here. Meaning over the course of, let's say from here, when we started getting the volatility flashes, in 1 day's time, in 24 hours, we would have lost 2% here with this loss and this loss, and we could have gained 16% here and an additional 22% here, meaning that our total for that trade-in day could have been 38% minus 2% equal a grand total of 36%. Now, yes, this is an outlier in data, but I want to show you just how well Sive can work in these high volatility times that can scare a lot of traders. People were crying, oh, bear market, bear market. Well, buy the dip, buy the dip. Well, yeah, we bought the dip too. Not only did we call a $15,000 price move fallen knife, we also resold that for another $10,000 for another 36% gain. Moving into the next trade of buying the dip. And again, we get a buy signal. What do we want to do? We want to identify the last swing. So here's the last swing. We place our stop loss just below. And again, like I said, you want to just try to target 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Don't get greedy with your trades. It will burn you. And you also want to try to manage your risk on the upside. So as you hit your 1 to 1 and as you move higher in profit, you want to tighten up this stop loss. You want to mitigate your risk on the downside as the market moves up. Where you could have started with maybe 1% down here, but as it moves up into a 1 to 1 scenario, take half your profits off the table. Take your 1% gain, your 2% gain, however much you've put into it. Take 50% once it hits 1 to 1. And now you're rolling with half risk, technically break even, because you've already took your profits up here, half your risk, and now you're rolling with half the risk. And now it just moves in your favor, and you just continue to do the same thing over and over. You can do this across all time frames, all of them. Ironically, that same dip, that same crash of $15,000 in total of 15 hours was also called on December 1st and December 2nd. Now, did we know it was going to dip that hard? No, but we were in position to be ready for it. We identify our swing highs, our swing lows. This is really being glitchy for me. So here we are. We identify our swing high. We have our sell signal. We enter on the close. And we place our stop loss above this. And again, we identify our swing highs. We enter on the close. Stop loss goes above this. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. Sometimes you can get wicked out, but that's okay. We can take this loss. But overall, we were in position. We had a low volatility flash right here, meaning that we're expecting something major to happen. Whether that's in the next hour or in the next day, we expect it to happen because we've had a low volatility read. And why we expect it is because volatility is cyclical. Low volatility periods follow by high volatility periods. And high volatility periods follow to low volatility periods. That's why after the crash, you just seen this stagnant sideways movement. This stagnant sideways movement. Low volatility, high. High to low. Low, that medium, low to medium, to a little bit higher. Now, are these crashes going to happen every time you get a read? No, but we can expect something to happen, some whipsaw action, some bigger candles to take opportunity on. A lot of traders are scared of volatility, but when you use Sive, you embrace volatility, because volatility is a double-edged sword, just like leverage, that not a lot of people know how to use or tame. Now, one thing with Sive that's my favorite is the focus ability on trading. It can go days without calling a trade, and then it can go days where it's calling multiple. But overall, the consistency of Sive will stay true. You are calling these trades. You're entering these trades. Low volatility follows. High volatility. The trades it calls across each time frame are solid. Absolutely solid. Now, if low time frames aren't your thing and you want to step into a higher time frame situation, go for it. Sive accommodates that. And the best part is, everybody was crying for the crash, but even if you were trading a higher time frame, look, November 15th, November 26th, I can do the exact same thing. Low volatility, followed by high. I'm really dragging this video out because I want to reiterate how we can take advantage of Sive and what kind of power it can give a trader, especially a beginner trader who's still learning. Just how to read the market, how to feel a bit more confident looking at a trend, looking at multiple different time frames, doing maybe scalping or swing trading if you know that you have a really busy schedule coming up that week and you only can set out an hour or so of your time to look at a chart, but you still want to use this as a side hustle, as a potential career in the future, and you want to try to make a little bit of side income. Well, you can section that out and you can even scale down to the 1 minute time frame. I love the 1 minute time frame. It is amazing, especially when you know how to utilize the tools provided, because the trade opportunities are endless. It really is endless. Time and time again, I'm making 2, 3, 4% in an hour, and I can walk away from my trading station and just be done. So yeah, Sive can really empower a trader. Now, if you are a daily time frame trader, again, you shouldn't be weary. We have a signal again on the November 16th, that close, and then followed, we get this huge price movement down. Not all price movements are going to be huge. Not all of them are going to have insane volatility to follow. But when you do the same thing over and over and have the predictability there and the probability there, you can take confidence in your trades and in your losses. Now here, I would define this swing low to be here. You're trading a daily time frame. The Bitcoin market is very volatile, and you don't know the volatility to come. This is June 2020. We don't know that this bull market's about to take off. We had our assumptions, but again, it puts you in a position to buy at $10,000 Bitcoin. When it runs up to 60,000 over the next month, or not month, over the next 6 to 10 months, almost a year, yeah, you'd be in this position for a long time. unleveraged or leveraged, this is a great trade. Now, as I'm coming to the end here, I would like to just kind of show you the different power you can have. Sive is rigid for all time frames. It is rigid for all markets. A lot of you may not like Bitcoin. You may be a stock person. Oh, let's look at Apple. Let's compare apples to apples. You have excellent price action. The calls are phenomenal. And even if you're using Heiken-Ashi, the calls still stay phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And if you're not a daily time frame trader, again, phenomenal. COVID crash. Where everyone thought the world was melting. Sive was calling the COVID crash. Now, let's say you're a Forex trader who likes indices. Again, the repeatability of trades is just uncanny with Sive. The type of trend identification you can have with Sive is uncanny. Across all time frames, all of them, you can have precision and accuracy on your side. It took me a very long time to develop this system, and it's still in development to be progressed to be better and to be progressed to a higher level, because I know that we can develop something even better than this current version. This is version 1. This is version 1, guys. Like, look at this. Look at it. Just automated. You could have took this trade, get the notification to your phone. You could be middle of work, take 5 seconds, enter this trade, and then over the next 2-3 days of you working, 4 days of you working, you're in profit. The amount of power you can have with Sive to accommodate to your technical analysis, to give you better analysis confirmation, uncanny. Whether you're a support and resistance trader, a trendline trader, a breakout trader, a Fibonacci trader, I don't even know where you could place one here. Whether you're a Fibonacci trader, we're getting 79 retracements here. We hop to a lower time frame. We see that it's reacting off this 79 level. We get another buy signal. What more confirmation do you want here, people? What do you want from me, people? I'm wrapping this video up now. I'm sorry that I've dragged this out for a long time, but I did just want to reiterate some facts and just really go over a lot of examples across multiple different time frames, different assets, different trading instruments that you can utilize. Just because really trading can be daunting, especially if you are a beginner. I have built this to what my friends say to be idiot proof. You don't need knowledge or years of experience or hours of a course to learn this system. You can simply add this to your chart to how it is and follow these trade ideas to what they are. And from there, just possibilities are endless. Now, I do have a Discord for extra support and free signals, free trade-in alerts. It is called Soldi Financial Community, Soldi Financial Trading Community. And I'm giving out free trade ideas on the weekly, we had an amazing week this week. We've been killing the crypto markets. We have just been absolutely hammering things away. I've been adding more information, and I've also put out a free education module, Trade-in 101. Do check this out. This does have a lot of information that you can use to really know where to start, know the terms, know the candlesticks. I've put a lot of work into this, and I'm still continuing to update this. So if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to reach out to me on the Discord. My name on the Discord is Soldi Giuseppe. Giuseppe's just a nice nickname that my friends have given me. But do check this out. It goes over so much information. It's a really in-depth guide on how to get started, what everything means, and just from A to Z, I'm covering your bases for free. From time frames to what those time frames mean, to how it transposes to lower time frames, to technical analysis, how to look at trend lines, swing points. A lot of information is in here, and a lot of resources are in here too. If you do want to learn more about what Sive is, give this description a read. I've put a lot of work into giving you a nice write-up for this. This was the earlier versions of what Sive looked like. And if you do have any information or questions that you want to reach out for, feel free to... Hold on. Whoop. I cannot write right now. This is embarrassing. So come say hi, join the community, and I'm always somewhere to be found. If not, we have a few moderators who are very sweet. They've been trading with me for a very long time. I know them on a very deep personal level. And really, if you need any help at all, come join. We really do just have everything to be offered here, and more free education is coming. I'm currently updating Trade-in 101, the beginner's guide to Trade-in. There's going to be a Trade-in 201 that's already in development. That's going to take you from a beginner trader to an intermediate. And then eventually, I want to have everybody at an institutional level where you are trading with market makers and intraday price delivery systems alongside using Sive. So this nice little depiction of what it's like to be a normal trader, the highs and lows you can experience. As a Sive trader, you're just always happy. You are always happy. You're getting free alerts. You can come vote for the alerts that we give. It's actually been very nice. A lot of community members have been putting in their votes on what they want to see, and I like to remind people that we do everything. We also send out some stock inquiries. If you're a stockholder or an investor, we also do some good stock calls too. That is all for now. This has been the beginner's guide to Sive. And if you'd like to learn how to set up alerts, do check out our next video. It's going to be called How to Set Up Alerts for Sive. That is all, and I hope you guys all have a great day. There will be information provided below to join the Discord.